Hey y'all, it's Sarah, the wine-loving bookworm, back with another book and wine review for your Sunday night. Okay, so tonight, I'll skip right ahead, and put it up, to the book. I read Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And I don't know, when I look at this, I think rosé wine for some reason. I don't know. Is it her black sunglasses or her hair up? I'm not really sure, but that's just what I thought. So I did have a bottle called Dreaming Tree Rosé. Probably not very expensive, but I bought it a while ago, so I don't really remember. So I thought, hey, let's do it. So let's give it a shot. Oh, I think I was expecting that to be sweet. It is not sweet. Let me try it again. That's not the best. Like that's, I don't know, it tastes weird. Like, wait, one more time. I don't know, that's just, sour is probably the wrong word. I'm not sure. I just don't like that. So, sorry. Okay, so let's get right on to the book. It might be a double header of no liking tonight because I didn't really like this book, but let me tell you a little bit about it. It was written by Maria Semple, and it is fiction. She is a novelist and a screenwriter. This is her second out of 3 novels she's written. She wrote for Beverly Hills 90210, I think the original, which is super exciting. Mad About You, Saturday Night Live, Arrested Development, Suddenly Susan and Ellen. So obviously a pretty successful, accomplished person. And she went into novels, and this is, like I said, her second one. It spent a year on the New York Times bestseller list. It won the Alex Award, and it was shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. So let's talk about it. It's set up very strange. I knew nothing about this book when I picked it up. And the first, while of it is a lot of letters, emails, school announcements, things like that, with interspersed with little blurbs from a maybe middle school age girl. So it concerns Bernadette, her husband Elgin, I think is his name, and their daughter Bee. And Bernadette, you find out later, was an architect, pretty successful architect in Los Angeles. And then they moved to Seattle for Elgin's job. He works for Microsoft. And she just seems very uncomfortable in Seattle. She doesn't really like it. But this is all coming from emails, letters. So you're not getting any personal perspective of Bernadette. You're just getting what other people think about her. Some letters and emails she writes herself. And then little blurbs interspersed of V, the daughter. So that right off the bat was a little jarring. I didn't like that. I just didn't like how it was set up. It was hard. Later on, it just goes into a long narrative by B. So you still don't get really Bernadette's perspective. And I really think the book's about her in a lot of ways, which I'll get into, but you never really get her perspective. So I found that was weird. And I found, I would say 75% of the book is just very, it creates a narrative in a lot of ways, but I didn't love the way they put it together. It was almost comic strippy, there was no real emotion or feeling in it. So, look at my notes. So again, she's in Seattle. Her husband makes a lot of money working for Microsoft, so they're kind of in the Seattle elite, but she doesn't fit in. A lot of the people, the wives, don't like her. She's a little kooky, a little weird, and you kind of figure out a little bit why later on. So obviously she disappears. Where'd you go, Bernadette? Obviously, I'm not, not a spoiler alert or anything. And the family wants to take a trip to Antarctica, and that kind of plays into all of it because B is really fascinated with Antarctica. She's a really good student. So they want to take a trip to Antarctica. So that plays a major role in the end as the setting, kind of. I guess that's kind of a spoiler alert. But I don't know. I feel like the purpose of the book was to kind of explain the mom, because you didn't really get a good understanding of what B was going through. And it felt like, you know, the mom disappears. Obviously something happened. Obviously something's going on there. But I just don't think it came through. You kind of understood why it happened, where she was at, but they didn't explain it. They didn't go into her thinking at all, you know, why she was unhappy, why you know, she did the things she did. It was just kind of, it just happened. And it seemed very, I don't know what to compare it to other than like a cartoon, very one-dimensional to me. And I could see where she was trying to go with it. Maybe that's the screenwriting part of it, you know, since she's a screenwriter. I could see where maybe she was trying to go with the mom, but it just didn't get there. You didn't get it at all. So, I mean, obviously this book is beloved, but I just did not like it. So I don't have a lot to say about it. So we're 0 for 2 with the wine in the book tonight. It did become a film just recently, and I kind of heard about it, so that's why I wanted to read the book. I knew that people were like gaga about the book, and then I heard about it becoming a film, but I hadn't really heard anything about it since. It actually was released in August, so that was kind of surprising when I read that. It stars Cate Blanchett, Billy Crudup, how do you say his name? I don't know. Does he know? Lawrence Fishburne, Kristen Wiig. Got really bad reviews, guys. It was like a 1.3 out of 5 and 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, and I don't understand how they would turn this into a like decent movie. Maybe a spoof or satire. I don't know. Like I didn't like the book. I can't see how it would be a good movie. There weren't any warm, you know, moments. There weren't any pivotal turning points. None of it. I don't know. It left me wanting more, I guess, is the bottom line. So anyway, that's Where'd You Go, Bernadette. Again, this is obviously a favorite of a lot of people, and again and again, those books tend not to be my favorite. So I don't know what to say. I'm gonna give it to my mom to read. She might like it, but I just did not like it. But obviously, a bunch of other Americans disagree. So maybe you'd like it. I would pass on it personally, but you know, make your own decision by other people's reviews. Sorry, I gotta lean down again. Next week, I'm going to book club. Again, had a quick turnaround, and it's Next Year in Havana. What we're reading by Chanel Clayton. So this is about kind of a Cuban story of a family that escapes from Cuba when Fidel Castro takes over, and then the granddaughter later on that goes back. I'm only like 2 chapters in, so that's all I know so far. So my mom just finished it. She said it was really good. It's a Reese Witherspoon book club pick, if that means anything to you. So I will finish that, and I'll go to my book club on Thursday, and then I'll have another book review on Sunday night for Next Year in Havana by Chanel Clayton. So, as a review, Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I would pass, but, you know, I don't know. Other people would disagree, so use your own judgment. Let's, Dreaming Tree Rosé. Let's try it one more time. Maybe it got better. That's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a rosé person, but that's just like meh to me. Like it's neither here nor there. So, all right. So that's all for me tonight. I will see you next weekend, and have a great week. Cheers.